There's a new fear that's taking hold of the internet. A horror story as old as time. Well, as old as George Romero. That's right, zombies. Those decaying ghouls that have been devouring our screens for decades and just won't seem to die, no matter how hard Rick Grimes on The Walking Dead tries, have apparently been clawing their way into the real world. It's not like zombies could actually be real. I mean, who cares if, for the first time ever, I couldn't find any evidence of fakery? Haven't I done enough, YouTube? Haven't I debunked enough to get this one on faith? That's all the time we have for this week.
I've had too much blood in my mouth. I've had more blood on me and other guns, but yeah, thankfully, I've
and
not
around
spit much
me.
of it. Yeah. So much blood.
Usually up to the ankles, wading through it. Folks, welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier paranormal preparedness podcast. My name is Jordan Dahl.
I am both Nate and Roger. I have absorbed the other.
And Roger, we have a guest today. Why don't you introduce our guest?
That's right. We have a guest of I think I'm going to speak for you, Jordan, a phenomenal movie in the 14 Film Festival. That's 14filmfestival.com called Zomblogalypse.
That's it.
That is it.
Excellent. It is a terrific comedy movie where three friends in the apocalypse decide to reenact the past 10 years throughout the movie, and it is a nice mockumentary style feature. I enjoyed it. Jordan enjoyed it. We watched it together before we started sitting down and recording here. Great job.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Lots of laughs. And this is Tony, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Tony, do you have a last name?
Yeah, it's Hipwell.
Tony Hipwell here on the pod, joining us to talk about zombies. I managed to find a list here from Zombiepedia. Boy, fandom.com is really crushing it out there. That these are kind of different zombies from around the world, zombies of the globe. And some of these are kind of just historical pointers. The first one, we're in Europe for these first few, and the first one they mention is the Revenant. And I'm not talking about the movie for which Leonardo DiCaprio finally got his Oscar. What was the Oscar for? Best bear killing? Best guy killed by bear?
Best being cold.
Best being cold for a long time. He finally got it. We're talking about the souls of the dead returning to basically a corpse and animating it. The way that a revenant is described on the webpage is it was commonly believed in the Middle Ages that the souls of the dead could return to Earth and haunt the living. The belief in revenants posits that they would come back to avenge some crime, and it would usually, it's not a ghost per se, it's not a zombie per se, but it is the corpse of your loved one come back to, I want to know where the money is. I know you took it. I know you've been lying. Avenge some crime. They would usually come back and kill their murderer. Like if you murdered someone, you were really increasing the chances that their ghost would come back, jump into their body, and then rise at night to strangle you in your bed. Revenant took on the form of an emaciated corpse or a skeletal human figure and wandered around graveyards at night. So I guess if you were the murderer, you could kind of just avoid the graveyard.
Yeah, probably be a smart play, to avoid the burial site of your victims.
Right. You know that guy you killed? I saw him. He's hanging around the graveyard. He told me to tell you to go there because he wants to kill you.
In which case you have to do it. No, you have to do it.
You just got to go back because it's important to gloat.
You want to go down to the graveyard and whip pennies at my murder victim? Okay, so that's kind of the Revenant from which all zombie legends spawn. If you go back far enough, the first mention of the Walking Dead that you will see are kind of these Revenants. Sometimes they will come back for a warning. That's a very kind of Shakespearean thing they'll do, fear the coming winter or whatever. And then, okay, I'm going to go back and be dead some more.
It feels like a lot of them are kind of just like slightly more irritating ghosts. It's like ghosts don't really do anything. And it's like, how can we make ghosts more annoying?
Yeah. What if they could come to your house and point at you accusingly?
And in some cultures, you have the opposite to where the zombies first, and the cultures are like, let's make this less irritating. Let's invent the ghost because this is too much.
This is way too much.
Too much zombie.
Okay, we're moving to Germany after this. This is the Noxire. The Noxire, I think is how it's pronounced. You got to say it twice, and you hold your fist like this when you do it. The Noxire, which stands for the afterwards devourer, is an undead entity of German origin. While similar to vampires, share more in common with zombies, but have several unique features. The Noxire usually feeds on dead bodies. That's nice for the living. Like a ghoul, they say, little ghoul drop there, but will also feed on the life force of living beings. So you could potentially be coming across a Noxire eating a corpse and be like, hey, what? That's my grandma, please stop. And then it would turn and grasp you with some sort of soul sucking power. They're also shapeshifters. They can form into pigs.
So this is just cheating. There's just so many multiple abilities going on here. It's like, excuse me, like you got the undead part going for you. You don't need to be able to turn into a pig as well. Yeah,
Noxire is broken as fuck. They need to nerf this shit.
yeah, exactly. Way too OP.
I love that their animal form is a pig. That's so unexpected.
Yeah, interesting choice. I mean, like Germans, like do like bratwurst and whatnot. So like maybe it's kind of just somewhat
Schweinfleisch. Maybe it's like maybe they're trying to disarm us. Like, oh, I am just an adorable pig. Come, scratch my snout. Look at Sam, tippy tap. And then you get close enough because you want, I don't know, to grab that pig or whatever, and then it turns into a Noxire and slays you. The best method of destroying a Noxire. Oh, wait a minute. Holy shit, they've got more powers. Okay.
It's even more.
It really does need a nerf.
It really does. So they can turn into pigs. They have the ability to kill you by having their shadow fall on the victim. And they can ascend a bell tower and ring the bell. And if a Noxire rings the bell, the church bell, everyone who hears it will die.
Okay, definitely OP.
OP as fuck. Yeah. That's a map clear, man. Ridiculous. Okay, but we're all is not lost. The best method of destroying a Noxire is to place a coin in its mouth. Okay, that sounds difficult.
Get right next to it. Yeah. Put a shiny coin in its mouth.
Does it specify the currency?
It does not. It doesn't specify an amount or a currency. But I mean, honestly, from the sound of this thing, how am I supposed to get close enough to place a coin in its mouth?
I figured it out. Mm-hmm. Earplugs for the church bell. Good earplugs
for the church bell.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
An ever-present light above your head, casting all shadows away. Some sort of contraption.
Or a very big umbrella. Go the opposite way. Create your own shadow to cancel it out.
Nice.
Exactly. Those are both pretty solid, but how are you going to stop it from turning into a pig and sucking your soul out, Roger? Yeah, that's right.
Scream haram at it.
That could happen. Okay, these creatures are usually the products of suicides and accidental death and plague death. And then it literally says, but it can also, quote unquote, just happen to a corpse.
I do like that. Just fuck it. It just happens.
Really good. They can be identified in their graves by a corpse holding its thumb in the opposite hand with its left eye open.
Okay, well, I mean, I suppose that's a good early tell. So you just jab a coin in its mouth if you see that in the grave. Just so open casket, just look for a thumb hole.
Yeah, in your daily corpse inspections, if you see this, just pop.
Well, I mean, if you're going to gloat as a killer, just check to see if it's holding its thumb or not.
Yeah, exactly.
This is more for grave keepers, I think, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're a gravekeeper with all your open graves around, carry a pocket of change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. At least for whipping at your murder victims to taunt them. Okay, next we're going to Romanian mythology, the Strigoi. We know a little bit about the Strigoi. We've covered them on the pod before. The Strigoi are souls of persons who died and never married. That's so fucked up.
Just most of us these days.
Yeah, right. Well, we're all going to be Strigoi.
Yeah.
Does common law count? I don't know. So to avoid the corpse of rising this is oddly written. It is necessary to marry the corpse with a living person of the same age that also never married before. So if you got a Strigoi that's like, I guess like about to Strigoi, like it's just like rattling around in there, you can very quickly get it married. You can ship it to Vegas, get a shotgun wedding, and that should settle it down.
I feel like this is just a zombie that is just born from unhappy parents who are just frustrated their children have not got married yet.
Right. When are you going to give me grandchildren?
It's like, come on, when's it happening?
If you don't get married, this Strigoi will get you.
Yeah. Mom, I've bitten 50 people. We are all your grandchildren now. So if a cat walks closer to a corpse, it is certain that the corpse will become a Strigoi.
Cat's getting a bad rap.
Apparently just being near a corpse, like if it's an accident, does that count? Like if the cat walks in the room is like, oh, I didn't realize it was a funeral. Too late.
I suppose with cats there are no accidents.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
No, the cat knew it was a funeral.
The cat knew this whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, did I make a Strigoi? I did not know this. That's my cat accent, apparently.
It's a good accent.
Thank you. After 6 weeks, no, wait a minute. To prevent this from happening, the Romanians bury a bottle of wine close to the grave where the corpse is buried. After 6 weeks, they return to drink the bottle. It is believed that someone who drinks that bottle will be free from Strigoi attacks. Hilarious. So the one drunk guy in the middle of the crowd, just like, come at me. I'm wasted on grave wine. Strigoi have red hair and blue eyes. It's a little too close to my look for comfort. They also have the ability to transform themselves into animals such as owls. Now, an owl, for my money, that's a better choice than a pig. I'm sorry.
Yeah, much more solid animal choice there.
You can move faster. You got that eye in the sky view. You can pick out your victims.
Got that air superiority.
Yeah, exactly. We will rain bloody defeat upon the pig armies. Okay. Additionally, it is believed that some Strigois are actually human beings with magical powers. Okay. Romanians usually pierce a needle through the corpse body, put a candle, a little money, or a towel in the corpse's hand. It sounds like he's going to camp with the purpose in order to prevent the corpse from rising again. Garlic also works on the Strigoi, but it has to be in the shape of a circle. You have to make a garland from it and then place it on the corpse.
Right. I enjoy the specificity of that. Like vampires are not fussy, just give them the garlic anyway. But no.
Yeah,
Strigoi expect more.
And if you fuck it up a tiny bit, the Strigoi will be like, "This is more of an oval," and burst out and kill everyone you love. Okay, hopping across the channel. This is the Genganger, which is a form of Scandinavian Revenant. These undead beings are typically depicted as animate corpses that have come back from the dead to spread disease and attack the living. So now we're in Elden Ring. Now we're in Caelid. These are these are rot zombies for sure. These creatures are typically the result of suicides again, but can also be created from murdered or from murderers. Again, a real shotgun blast on some of these causes. They're just like, it can happen if you die or are killed or a cat is near you. If a cat has ever seen you.
Oh, I'm in trouble.
I'm in lots of trouble. God. Their intentions vary in folklore depending on the area, ranging from creatures who require the assistance of the living to be at rest in their graves to deadly disease spreaders that can kill with an illness-inducing pinch. Oh, love it. Love a pinching monster. It seems oddly polite, doesn't it?
It leaves less of a mark.
It
Probably hurts a lot less.
You'll get the plague.
It's slightly less vicious than the bite, but it has got a bit of the, oh, excuse me.
Yeah. I knew. Yeah, give that a week. It's good. Trust me, that'll be bad. I have a buddy who used to tell a really funny joke about how people on St. Patrick's Day, you have to wear green or else people will pinch you. That's the tradition in America. And his joke was, he's like, boy, you know, that one was argued down from a punch. At some point, he's like, well, can I punch them? Like, no. Can I kick them? How about a pinch?
Yeah, but you know the pinch would be absolutely vicious. Like they'll get the thickest chunk of meat they can, and they'll just like put all of their strength into that as well.
Yeah, using
red
the
face
knuckle.
while doing it. Yeah, they'll go absolutely nuts with that.
No twisting. They are featured quite often in Viking myth and can be dispatched or warded off by carrying the coffin around a church 3 times. So crucifixes work on them as well. You can also carve inscriptions in the grave of the dead facing the body. So basically you have to like carve an inscription of the back of someone's head so they're looking down at themselves. No. Or like their own face in the lid of it.
Wow.
That
Okay.
makes more sense. That makes more sense. And then you close it.
Yeah.
And then they wake up and they're like, oh, a zombie and die immediately. Next, this is another Scandinavian undead creature that I actually know about. And I have kind of a scary story about the Draugr. If anybody's ever played The Witcher 3, you might have, or Skyrim, full of Draugrs. Another Scandinavian undead creature from Norse mythology. Draugr are dead Vikings that have come back to life. These creatures attack and feed on the living and are capable of superhuman strength, increasing their physical size and carry the unmistakable stench of decay. Wow, they got those growth powers. They can crush victims using their increased size, eat them, or suck their blood. They can do lots of really anything that would require increased size.
Yeah. I always remember the Draugrs in Skyrim as basically being just undead wizards.
Yeah,
which
for
just
sure.
Again felt like cheating.
Yeah.
no, undead shape-shifting wizards.
Yeah, you can't do that. Oh, but I can punch. They also can rise from their graves in a wisp of smoke. Animals that feed or linger near the grave of a Draugr eventually go mad. Interesting. It is said that the only kind of person capable of dispatching these creatures is a hero.
Yeah, I think there's a whole they've got a wild history around Draugrs with a bunch of legends of like a specific kind of almost like Beowulf style like hero taking them down. But I heard other ones which are really specific about you had to chop off their heads and bury them in their original graves or chuck them in the sea, I think. Yeah.
And then there's a second kind that's like a sea Draugr of like people who have drowned at sea or something. This says they are often physically wrestled back into their own graves, as you say, or beheaded and burnt to ash, depending on myth. Wealthy Vikings and noblemen who were buried with great treasures guard them jealously, unable to let them go in the afterlife, and will attack any who attempt to claim them. So try not to amass great wealth, Elon, you fuck. Boy,
I'm still disturbed by the idea of wet zombies, just to see Draugr. Like, I just like how to make a zombie wet. How to make a zombie worse? Just make it wet.
Covered in barnacles and horrible slimes. I mean, it's it's already the case that if anything touches my leg when I'm in the sea, it's dead people's hair for sure. So this doesn't help with that. All right, we are moving into Asia and the Asian subcontinent. And we are starting that off with the Vitala. I've never heard of the Vitala. Have you guys heard of this one?
No.
This is a spirit from Hindu mythology that haunt charnel grounds and possess the bodies of the dead. Interesting. In their mortal vehicles. Wow, that's awesome. It's kind of a it's kind of a ghost mech.
Yeah. Is that like a zombie Batmobile?
Yeah. Yeah. In their mortal vehicles, these spirits harass the living, driving people mad, killing children, causing miscarriages. Vitala, come on. However, they also guard villages.
That's a really messed up neighborhood watch there.
Truly. And also, you know, an interesting insight into the many layers of the zombie. When he's not causing miscarriages, he's protecting the children of this village. They are not bound by the laws of space and time. Interesting. Jeez. Talk about OP. Motherfucker's got gravity powers. They have an awareness of the past, present, and future, and a deep understanding of human nature. For this reason, they are sought out by sorcerers as slaves. They can be dispatched by reciting holy mantra and performing the funeral rites of the dead. At them, presumably, through a bullhorn. Next up, we got the Jiangshi, and this is a favorite of ours here at Werewolf Radar.
We were talking about this before we started, actually.
Yeah, the stiff corpse, also known as the Chinese hopping vampire. You know this guy, Tony?
I think I might have seen them in a movie sometime. Like I feel like I've seen something along those lines.
They've been very big in Asian cinema during like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't typically let like supernatural stuff in their movies anymore. But I feel like I've seen Chinese vampire movies like back in the day, and I'm pretty sure I remember some kind of ridiculous jumping going on. Yeah,
you most likely have. In the same way that the West embraced Dracula as kind of our vampire of choice, the Jiangshi has a similar presence in China and other parts of Asia with lots of movies based on this guy and his various antics. Did you ever play Night Stalkers? That it was a fighting game that was all monsters.
No, but I know which one you mean. Yeah.
There's a Chinese hopping vampire in there who wears this. They have this very specific like box hat and these kind of robes that they wear where the like sleeves go over the hands.
Oh yeah.
But as described here, Jiangshi, literally meaning stiff corpse, is a kind of vampire/zombie from Chinese myth. These creatures are victims of murder, those who have committed suicide again, or those who simply refuse to enter the afterlife. Love that. Love the idea that somebody was just like, no, I want to be a hopping vampire. Peace.
If anything, it's more freedom.
Yeah, I'm a
leaving this husk of human modernity to become what you really want to be. A hopping vampire.
Yeah,
I feel like Soul would have been a very different film if that jazz artist had chosen that instead.
I'm going back to my husk, which could barely hop before.
You should see me hop now.
Yeah.
Before vertical leap 20 inches. Now I'm playing minor league basketball, if that's a thing.
Yeah, nothing but that.
Oh, you're that hopping vampire that's on the Celtics. I remember. Their appearance can differ from the recently dead, who look normal, to rotting, moldy corpses. This mold is often described as white fur covering their bodies. Scary. Boy, that's some left in the fridge ass mold y'all got going on there. Long white hair. They are only capable of traveling by silent hopping and are capable of leaping great distance.
That's some messed up stealth.
Oh, holy shit. P.S. In the movie, when you pull the solid snake under the box, laughing my ass off. Watch the movie, you guys. Silent hopping, which I'm terrible at because I got all these coins in my pockets to fucking battle Strigoi or whatever. They can.
Are they one of those like those little paper things that can I click? Yeah, or put it in like those little clips that keep them all together.
Yeah. They can be foiled by throwing rice or coins on the ground. Interesting. They will not pursue their target until they have picked up all the grains of rice or coins, allowing the target to escape. This is something that we actually see with Eastern European vampires as well, is a compulsion to count, which is why the Count on Sesame Street loves to count, presumably. But you can throw, I've heard mustard seeds is a good one. On the step of your house, if you think a vampire's coming tonight, you can throw some mustard seeds down and he'll be like, son of a bitch, I have to count these. And then the sun will come up and kill him. You can also deactivate a Jiangshi by placing a sacred piece of paper on their foreheads. There's these little strips of paper that have prayers on them. And if it's like hopping at you, all silent, you can just pop it on the forehead. They'll fall down.
Yeah, this one doesn't seem too OP. Depending on as long as you can wrangle the hops.
I think
you've already got coins for another zombie. So you're already set.
And it's a good question. Like, does it count just the coins, or is it like trying to add them up? Is it like 235, 268?
I feel like it's gonna have to go the full rounds on it.
Yeah, just bring as much denominations as possible.
And then you can
just be safe.
You can just shout numbers at it in the background and hope that it loses its place. Exactly. Okay, the next one up is the Pontianak. It doesn't actually say where this is from. Let's read the whole thing. Pontianak. The name Pontianak is reportedly a corruption of the Bahasa Perempuan Mati Beranak, which stands for she who has died at childbirth. It is an Indonesian and Malay undead creature that are reported when a woman dies in childbirth. These vengeful undead women attempt to lure their victims to them with the cries of a baby, or by taking the guise of a beautiful human woman. Yikes. That's upsetting. Only to frighten or kill their victims. Hopefully the first one. They are said to attack and kill victims by using their sharp claws to tear out the guts of a victim, devouring them to sustain themselves. The most popular way of dispatching a Pontianak is to push a nail into the back of their neck or the apex of their head, turning them into beautiful women until the nail is removed.
Yeah, that's a big specific little wrinkle to it, but
that feels like one guy had a lot of input on that part of the story.
But wait, bear with me. What if we could just turn them into babes, man?
It solves all of our problems.
It's a good point, John.
A lack of babes and a lack of these.
Great point, Johnny the Perv. We'll put that into the lore. Okay, Bake Kujira is up next. This is fucking incredible. This is from Japan, and this is an undead skeletal whale wandering the seas of Japan. Fucking crazy. Bake Kujira literally stands for ghost whale. This is a zombie whale, you guys.
I feel this is sort of like Hideo Kojima would use.
Yeah, right? Yeah, this is that fucking Death Stranding sequel we've all been waiting for. It brings bad luck to anyone who dares sail on its seas. It's said that the souls of dead whales come back to seek revenge over fishermen by bringing all sorts of chaos to the village where it is spotted, like the quote-unquote invasion of flames. Holy shit. That's a high-level incantation, y'all. Diseases, poverty in general. The Bake Kujiras are usually spotted with some weird fishes and birds around it. They appear at rainy nights near whaling coastal villages. Interesting. No way to dispatch this one is mentioned. And I don't know. Roger, any thoughts? What do you do about this?
Sometimes you just die. Sometimes you just die and become a new creature that you weren't ready to have into your universe. You know, I think that's one of those. We've talked about them a few times to where like, oh, just good luck.
Yeah,
good luck, I guess.
The survival tips for this one is try to be dead when it shows up, I guess.
As you can tell by my video, I got sweaty just hearing about it. I got this towel soaked. It was the most horrifying thing I've ever heard.
Terror Sweat from the Ghost Whale. Sick band name too, just saying. Okay, next up we got the Gasha Dukuro from Japan. This is an undead creature, a skeleton 15 times larger than any normal person.
I'm trying to do the math about how big that would actually be right now.
Yeah, well, what's 6 times 15?
That's basically just
90.
like a kaiju zombie.
Yeah, kaiju zombie. Spies a human.
So this is basically Attack on Titan.
This is Attack on Titan. Well, listen, if spies a human will grab them and bite their heads off. This is literally Attack on Titan. Gasha Dukuro are created by the assembled bones of those who have starved to death. That's so fucking metal.
Yeah.
The only way to avoid death is to flee.
Run away. That is a solid tactic.
Solid tactic continues to be the choice of cowards and madmen the world
Especially
over.
in the world of this apocalypse of various zombie type, just survival is a way to win. And sometimes you just gotta run.
Yeah, don't starve to death. Every time you starve to death, you add to the Gasha Dukuro. Please don't. So you got to run before it can grab you. Normally, one can hear ringing in their ears when a Gasha Dukuro is about to strike. So next time your ears ring for no reason, jump out of the car. That's my advice to you.
I mean, this is all really just telling us just to eat well and have good cardio.
Yeah.
Just good idea anyway.
Which is the overall, isn't that the zombie survival?
Yeah, exactly.
The back of the placard is just, try to eat some vegetables, go for a jog once or twice a week. It'll come up. Okay, next up, Izanami. In Japanese mythology, Izanami was the younger sister and wife of Izanagi. She gave birth to 5 children, the islands of Japan, you might have heard of them, and died giving birth to the 6th, which we know is a bad move. Oh shit, Izanagi killed the island, killed the sixth
Wow.
island, which feels like a bit of an overreaction. In a myth similar to that of Orpheus, Izanagi is unable to deal with his grief and went into Yomi, the Japanese underworld, to retrieve his beautiful wife, only to discover that she had become a worm-ridden, rotten corpse. You hate to see it. Terrified, he fled with the now undead goddess chasing him along with 8 vicious hags. When Izanagi came to the entrance of Yomi, he sealed it with a boulder. Izanami cursed Izanagi and threatened that if she were to ever escape, she would kill 1,000 people a day, to which Izanagi furiously replied that he would create 1,500 more. Guys, don't put us in the middle of your fight. Don't bring the kids into this.
Please.
For their sake. Interesting. So do you remember not too long ago when that giant boulder containing a demon broke in Japan?
The Killing Stone.
Yeah, the Killing Stone. So apparently they've been going back and forth like this, maybe since that happened. Okay, we've got about 3 more, and I'm going to read them all because they're fucking incredible. This is the Onrio. You might have heard of the Onrio. One of the most feared ghosts in Japan is the Onrio. It is said that the souls of a persons who died with strong emotions like jealousness, hate, or rage can't pass on and instead will become an Onrio. They will appear as they did when they died. They will destroy anything and harm anyone in its path, regardless of being realted with their deaths. What the fuck? Feelings or not. They will usually appear with marks or wounds explaining how they die. Okay, so it's kind of just a revenant who hasn't really rotted and who is going around like one punch manning people. Which again sounds pretty dope. I would.
It works out pretty well, that one. Like, that seems like a pretty kind of low cost ending up as one of these ones.
Yeah. I was angry alive, and now I'm angry dead.
Mm-hmm. Angry all the way through.
Angry all the way down.
But consistent.
Just think of the giant skeleton he'll make. Peppo. In Japanese mythology, first of all, this sounds like an adorable one. If this isn't like it's something.
Sounds like a snack.
Yeah. Japanese mythology, the Peppo is a formless undead yokai that usually appears on temples, deserted streets, and graves during sundown. Interesting. Usually walks with no certain place to go. This is kind of chilling.
Just vibing.
It is 1.5 meters high. So I was kind of right. He's a little guy. And Peppo. It unleashes a strong rotten flesh odor. Peppos are passive and calm creatures. Some rumors say that anyone who eats Peppo flesh shall be youthful for eternity.
Oh, we got this right. He is literally just like a vibing snack.
Yeah, this guy rules. Some persons believe that this monster is formed by decaying flesh. Okay, Peppo is maybe my new favorite undead creature. He's kind of just a little helpful weirdo who wants to make you immortal. Which could be bad, I guess, the curse of everlasting life. And finally, we come to the Hone Ona, which is literally translated as bone woman, which is pretty metal.
Yeah.
As the name says, the Hone Ona is a skeleton disguised as a handsome woman who attracts unwary men, drains their vital force. Even after death, the Hone Ona will keep up strong feelings for her lover, which will make her rise from the grave every night and wander to her loved one's house. So this is kind of like your betrothed has died and can come back. If your love was strong enough, if you loved someone good enough, you can curse them forever. Her vision at first will be shocking to those who believed in her death, but can quickly become a reason of happiness that blinds the form that like draws people in, and then they embrace them. And then she's like, I'm the bone woman. Give me your bones. And she will try to, this says, once her true form is revealed, she will keep appearing every night to her love and will be gone every morning. She will drain the love's life force little by little, who will usually end up weak and sick. People start getting sicker and sicker, which is another thing that we see in vampire lore.
Yeah, there's a lot of crossover here.
Yeah, truly. And they will both be taken by the arms of death. Interesting. So basically, she wants to come back and bring you to the grave so you can be together forever and continue your relationship down there.
And that crossover kind of starts from what we were talking at the beginning of this episode, to where they were really in ancient mythologies, kind of the same creature. Like there's so much crossover to where like culture separated it, changed it as the society needed. So there's still, even today, 3,000, 4,000 years later, so much crossover.
Totally.
Yeah. And you see a lot of undead servants for vampires as well, don't you? With that kind of, again, so they're kind of keeping them in that same kind of, I guess, territory with one another.
Yeah, truly. The kind of the idea of they loop you in with their curse and you have to be there forever. This says, even if rejected, the Hone Ona will keep coming back every night for her lover. As her body putrefies, she will look even more attractive to her lover.
That's just what being in a committed relationship is. Like straight up, I'm more Jordan froze. Jordan might be turning into a zombie.
I mean, yeah, this is possible in this situation. It's a variant we haven't heard of.
That's all right. I do believe overall that was the last one. If he comes back in, we'll let him back in. Tony, thank you very much for joining us on this romp throughout the world of zombies. Once again, if you can, check out Zomblogalypse when it's out. And now that's the question I'm going to ask you. Where can people see Zomblogalypse?
Yeah, we did not do ourselves any favors with the title we gave ourselves. But that was kind of one of the jokes. Anyway, we tend to just call it Zomblog, but yeah, it's Zomblogalypse. Depending when this gets released, we are actually available digitally in US and Canada from May 24th. I think you should be able to find us on things like Amazon,
this will be
iTunes,
out tomorrow.
Apple. Oh, cool. Yeah, so we're out on Tuesday. And I think we'll be on the usual, all the kind of general platforms. So yeah, check us out. To try and find us on Amazon and iTunes, Google, all that stuff. But we're going to be available on digital US and Canada from there. And
Like
Yeah,
it,
just,
like we
check
both
us out
said.
on social media, and
Great
we'll
film.
be posting stuff for that there. Yeah, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I love the middle part is the best, and it's so rare to have a movie with such a good middle part to where like they really put a lot of effort in the beginning and the end, but like the middle part is like, oh shit, I'm actually caring about the health and safety dude. I really relate to him and care about what's happening here. It's a great job, man.
No, thank you. And yeah, we wanted to kind of like, despite it following a bunch of complete idiots, like we're looping in a bunch of relatively normal people who are way in over their heads, and so we just kind of want to, just really play with kind of the absurdity of that. And some of those people they really don't deserve what happens to them. But it's all in service of making a movie, because what is more important than that?
It fits the theme so well. Please watch the movie. It's coming out Tuesday, May 24th.
Yeah, on digital.
Yep. You'll be able to see it. Tony, thank you very much for being here. I apologize for my absence through a bulk of it. Me and Nate are sick. I'm just not going to lie anymore. I held it as best I could together. I'm doing the best I can right now. Thank God for performance energy, holding everything back right now. But I really appreciate. Oh, no worries. When me and Nate started getting sick, it was too late to call you back, and we went, you know what? Show must fucking go on.
Well, that ties into the movie. So yeah, it's good. We've done crossover. There's lots of crossover in this
and
episode.
I never would have guessed at the end Jordan would have been the one to leave us through a digital sickness.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Zombies with Tony. If you like what we do, make sure you give us a 5-star review wherever you can. We're on Spotify, we're on Stitcher, we're on Apple Podcast, Google, Audible. If you really, really like what we do, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Werewolf Radar. One more time, because I said that so poorly. Patreon.com/Werewolf Radar. And if you like the work that we have been doing recently with all these filmmaker interviews, we're grabbing them from the 14 Film Festival at 14filmfestival.com. Check it out. They're doing great work just bringing all these movies together and getting the word out on paranormal entertainment. And now we're going to end on our not-so-secret sign-off line for all pingos, and it is Punch the Sky, Spaceman Joe, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Punch the sky, Spaceman Joe. Additional clip from Zomblogalypse. Watch the movie on streaming platforms May 24th. Sound design by Blue Blanket Sound. You can contact them at helloblueblanketsound.com or at www.blueblanketsound.com.